Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. So welcome to lesson 7 of going through Surah Al-Fatihah. In the past 6 lessons we've gone through all the makhaarij al-huroof, the points of articulation of all the letters in the Arabic language. We've done bits of theory and then returned back to Surah Al-Fatihah in order to implement those rules of theory into our recitation. Inshallah, you've found the whole process beneficial. You've been able to hopefully identify things of where you're making mistakes in recitation, and learn how to pronounce all the letters from the right place, or have the theory of where to pronounce them from the right place, so that when you sit with a teacher, you're able to identify what's being asked of you or how to fix your recitation, because you've now got the theory part of that. Today's lesson is just fine-tuning of Surah Al-Fatihah, pointing out some elements that are not related to really makhaarij al-huroof, other parts of rules of tajweed, but important for me to finish off, I think, the whole series by going over some elements of of things to look out for, and to even improve that recitation of Surah Al-Fatihah that we've got, and hopefully make it that little bit better also again. So let's go through these little fine tips that we've got of how to improve and investigate what we're going to do today, inshallah, which is just let's call the lesson fine-tuning of Surah Al-Fatihah. طيب. So let's go through verse by verse of Surah Al-Fatihah and explain what it is that we're looking for in terms of improving our recitation. So we're going to start with the al-isti'adha, which is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. So here the only really main thing to look out for is the sheen. Now the sheen, which we'll do maybe in the next series of in lessons, which is going to be about the sifat al-huroof, or the characteristics of the letters. The sheen is one of these, is a letter whereby you need to continue the air when you're reciting it, and the sound of the letter, and also try to spread the sound of the sheen in your mouth. We've done it before, maybe in one of the previous lessons, but now we're doing it with a particular focus of trying to make sure that we do it every time we recite Surah Al-Fatihah. So, أعوذ بالله. We've done all these things previously with itmam al-harakat. أعوذ بالله minash. Here is the sheen that I'm looking for. Your lips are going back. You're spreading the sound of the sheen in the mouth. The sound of the sheen still continues, as does air. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. And in the previous lesson we covered that, making sure that the meme and the noon are the only letters that have gunna, or a sound that's emanating from the nasal passage. And so when you stop at the end of a verse as a meme or a noon, that becomes especially important to make sure that it's audible in the recitation. So these are 2 things to look out for in al-isti'adha: the sheen and the meme, which we kind of done in the previous lesson, but now with a little bit more of a focus on it in order to improve, and everything else we've done previously not to forget. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. And then when you come to the basmala, it's a similar thing. You have the seen, and the seen is again a letter where we have sound and air continued whilst pronouncing it in order to make it more audible as well. Bis, bis. So try to do that every time you recite Surah Al-Fatihah, or al-isti'adha. Bis, bismillahir rahmanir. And the ha, you kind of I always explain this as pushing air towards the front of the mouth rather than breathing in. And because you're reciting, the air should be flowing outwards and not inwards. And so a lot of people kind of breathe in when they're saying the ha. And I always said, in order to get the correct pronunciation, breathe out with a little burst of air, which makes the ha a lot more audible. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let the air out. And then making it clear as well. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. There's two has there. The difference between one's got the sukoon on it and the other one's got a kasra on it. So the one that has sukoon is going to be more audible. Now, if I'm going through and I'm fine-tuning you, then I'm going to say that the sheen in al-isti'adah, the seen and the basmala and the ha, because they've all got sukoons, should be about the same length. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So, practice makes perfect, but things just to look out for. Then we come to the first verse. Now the lam is a letter that needs to be lingered on. There's 5 of them in tajweed. The lam, the noon, the ayn, the mim and the ra. And so therefore here we're just pointing out that when you come to a lam with a sukoon, then you need to linger on it a little bit and not go too fast. So here when you're reciting Surah Al-Fatihah, alhamdu. So the lam and the mim, you kind of linger on them equal time. Alham. And the second one is going to be accompanied with a sound from al-khayshum, or the nasal passage. Alhamdu. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And then making sure that you've got the ba with the shadda on it, concentrating on the recitation really, and trying to just implement as many rules as you can, the makhaarij that you've done, and kind of even beautifying and get a little bit more by making sure that you're looking out for these little nuances. So staying on that lam, staying on that mim, alhamdulillah, opening the mouth for the la, lillahi rabbil alameen. Lam, the mim and the noon should again all be the same in terms of the length that we recite them for. Then moving on to the next verse, same as when we done al-basmala. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Again, Maliki Yawmiddin. Everything we've done before, nothing really extra in that verse. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Just making sure that the ta and the ayn and then going back with your lips and then resting on the noon. Again, there's nothing really extra that we haven't done already that's in that verse. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. With the ta, making sure that you're working with it. Ta, making your mouth is opening. Ihdi. Again here with the ha, you need to just linger on it slightly in order for it to be, and the sound of the ha continues and it doesn't cut off. Ihdi. Sorry, in the previous verse, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. I should have pointed out the scene, which is similar to the scene that we've done when we've done al-basmala. So just making that a little bit longer. So going back to that verse, Iyyaka and the ayn as well. Subhanallah, when you go and the ayn, you need to linger on it and continue the sound rather than cutting it off. Iyyaka na'budu. na'budu. The ayn's continuing. Not for too long, not for too short. The same length as what we've done previously with the meme and the noon. So, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اهدنا so the ha, continuing the sound of it as well. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم, making sure that the noon and أنعمت, so you have the noon and the meme, again the same length as what we've done previously. It needs to be consistent in recitation. أنعمت with the noon and the meme now, obviously with a sound from the nasal passage as well. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير الlam. Again, same as the other lam that we done in the first verse of Surah Al-Fatihah. It's got a sukoon in it, which means that you need to linger in it to make it audible, just as you would, as we have done in the first verse. غير Again, the ghain is one of those letters that you have the sound continuing whilst you pronounce it. غير المغضوب, pushing out the lips for the dad. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. What you might have realized here in all the recitation that we've done to Surah Al-Fatihah, when we have ولا الضالين, I'm kind of jumping onto that lam and then saying the rest of the verse. That's something that is called nabar in rules of tajweed, which requires some extra pressure because of rules that are there that we'll cover maybe at some other point. But what's important to note is when you're reciting the last part of Surah Al-Fatihah and you come to that lam, you have that little pressure, little kick. Okay, so غير المغ, that sound continues, the lam first, and before that you linger on it, continue the sound of the ghain. دوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللين. So we'll do that again. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen. So, one more time reciting Surah Al-Fatihah. To look out for the little things that I mentioned, the sheen and al-isti'adah, the scenes when they've got sukoon on them, the ha when they've got sukoon on them, the lams when they've got sukoon on them, the memes when they've got sukoon on them, the noons when they've got sukoon on them. They just require us to linger on these letters a little bit when we come to them, and take our time in recitation. There is a certain measure of letters which we'll do when we do the lessons about sifat al-huroof, but let's first concentrate on getting the makhaarij and the points of articulation correct before we move to that. But these are little things now that we've recited Surah Al-Fatihah for a number of times that hopefully you can pick up on and improve your recitation, inshallah, that a little bit more. So let's recite Surah Al-Fatihah one more final time together, inshallah, before we complete the lessons of Surah Al-Fatihah, and then we'll look to see what the next lessons are, inshallah, about the Sifat al-Huruf. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. Jazakumullah khairan. I hope that you have benefited really from these videos that we've done and covered Surah Al-Fatihah. We'll leave you with the recitations of Sheikh Anas, Sheikh Ayman and Sheikh Abdullah Basra, as we always do. Please remember me in your du'as, and may Allah accept from me and from you. Jazakumullah khairan. Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.